expands out actually beyond
what the screen is. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I could do it. This is a new iPad, but I could do it on my old iPad, but I can't do it on that one to where you get the true screen. So I'm still working on that.
Oh, because it fills the whole thing out as opposed to
it's the horizontal. Yeah, 16 by 9 or
right.
Yep. It's all those numbers I don't understand. So. I digress.
All
right, Tom. All right, if you're ready, I'm ready.
Set to go.
Cool. Let me just make sure the mics are on. They are. Green lights. That's a good thing. Have this pointed in here. There we go. All right. Hey, we are here at the 2018 CUNA GAC in this wonderful, it's a sunny day in Washington, D.C., and I'm here with a person who has a very sunny disposition. Illinois Credit Union's very own Tom Kane. How are you, Tom?
Good. Doing fine.
So. Good. How's the show going? I'm kind of asking everybody, how's the show going? What do you want to take
terrific.
Away?
I was actually ran into Todd Spasinski, who kind of puts it on.
Yeah.
And I was telling him that it's just a terrific thing. Just all the feedback I get from the Illinois delegation and just other people is just like one of the best ever.
It's a good show. This is a good show.
Yeah.
I call it the big family reunion. So we all kind of get together in this.
Well, I was just with the Crasher for breakfast, and he said, "So how is this different?" And I said, "Well, first of all, we had the president, a former president. We'd never had that before, so that one's going to be pretty hard to top." So that was very cool.
Indeed.
Very cool.
Hey, let's talk about something else that's really hot right now. ADA litigation. What's the latest that you guys are hearing in your neck of the woods?
Well, and that's become a really, really hot topic. I think in the compliance area, it's probably the hottest topic of all right now. And it's hit Illinois. We estimated from an informal survey about 40% of the credit unions in Illinois have been hit with the demand letter that they've gotten.
40%?
Yeah.
Tom, oh my God,
yeah,
that's huge.
And so it's a demand letter that they're getting from this firm and saying that your website's not in compliance. And so a lot of the credit unions are kind of wondering, what are they going to do with this? Because it's not something, and then the boards of directors get nervous because it's just not something that they're used to seeing. And you get a letter from a lawyer demanding something and saying that you're out of compliance. And the difficult thing on this is that the ADA legislation that was put in place a long time ago doesn't mention websites. There's no law that really guides what credit unions should be doing on that. And since there's no law that specifically addresses this, the Department of Justice is the one that actually has the regulatory authority over the ADA. They don't have guidelines that they've produced. The court brief. Working with CUNA very closely on this. So CUNA and the Illinois Credit Union League will be filing this amicus brief on behalf of this credit union. So we're hoping that, like a couple of other cases, this will just get dismissed and hopefully send a message.
Well, set a precedent for the rest.
Yes, well, we're hoping, and send a message to this law firm that in Illinois we're going to fight all these things.
Good for you.
I've talked to our board and said this is going to cost us a few bucks, and they're like, this is something we need to kind of step forward and do. So
I think, like you said, they're just going to keep coming back, and if you pay them, I mean, this is just me talking, but if you pay that, you just enable that. You go, oh, okay, here's a little revenue stream for us, you know. And
so, and unlike a class action lawsuit, which if those get settled, then you kind of get it taken care of. This one is they can find a new plaintiff, another law firm could come out of wherever. So so for us, this is sort of like, and CUNA is right there with us on this. It's like, okay, this is how we have to attack this. And we are going to go on the offensive on this, because between all the states and CUNA Mutual as the insurer on this, there's a lot of resources there that we can.
Oh, no doubt.
And then, credit unions aren't the only industry they've hit.
Oh yeah.
But they're one of the few ones that there's a lot of closed field memberships. So I'm not sure that this law firm really understood that the plaintiffs who they're getting can't even belong to those. So they don't even have standing.
Well, then they should know who they're going after.
Well, it's funny. I was looking through this lawsuit. So this credit union is a very small. It's under $20 million, right? And they have the lawsuit talks about that this credit union has made millions of dollars off of their website, without making it compliant and all that sort of thing. And I tell you, the credit union last year's revenue wasn't even close to $1 million.
Really?
And it was less than $500,000.
They're not even doing their homework.
So no, they're just, you can tell it's just a form letter, which is one of the things, they're just cranking these things out.
or shotgunning them out, basically.
Yeah, it's a it's a 3-person credit union, so it's.
Oh my gosh.
So what they're demanding is, a quarter of what their net income was last year. So it's ridiculous, but what they're trying to do is pick on the smaller credit unions that may not have the resources to be able to fight it.
Yeah.
And so then they'll just settle. So anyway,
if you guys can set a precedent though, to where this.
And so we joined in with the Experian class action lawsuit. We were part of the Home Depot action. So what we're finding then is 360 is including legal action. That either we're on the one side of it, as something like this, or there's some class actions that have been done against credit unions related to overdraft protection. So what we're finding is we're needing to jump into the courts to settle some of this stuff, which isn't the ideal way. What you'd like to be able to do is pass a law. What you'd like to be able to do is deal with the regulator to scale back some of the onerous regulations that have been put in place. But what we're finding, though, all of a sudden, the courts have been increasingly involved in these things, and so we need to be that way too.
Which is kind of unfortunate, though,
It is.
It's expensive. It's time-consuming, and there are better things to do than deal with these frivolous lawsuits that.
But I think it's the phrase "new normal" gets used all the time. But I think that is becoming a new normal. Is that people? It's an increasingly litigious society and all that. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would recommend to all credit unions, though, there is a guideline. So it's the the web content accessibility guidelines that have been put out there that, while won't 100% necessarily protect people because it's not something that's in the law, it's not something that's in the regulations. There's the 2.0 version of that, which kind of lays out what a credit union needs to do in order to be accessible for anybody with disabilities, right? So that's what we're really hoping, that credit unions will get to that point. What we don't want to end up having happen is credit unions get sued because they haven't gotten there yet. Particularly small credit unions, it's a big expense for them. People have to sometimes wait for core processors, whatever, to update their systems. So it's going to take a little while to get there. But I would recommend that all credit unions start that process.
Are they giving them like, hey, you have 30 days to get compliant, or you have 90 days or whatever? It's like, this is happening right now, whether you like it or not.
There's no cure period.
Really?
It's sort of like, because the one that I was talking about, the small credit union in Illinois, they went and went to their core processor and pushed them, and they are now at that guidelines. But they're claiming the harm happened before that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So that's one of the things we're looking to do actually in the state of Illinois is provide for a cure period there. So if you are notified by a member about something you're not of community charters and that kind of thing, but there's still a lot of credit unions that have a relatively closed field of membership. So, that's one of the things that I guess maybe they didn't take into consideration very carefully when they got into this.
That's almost the kind of humorous side of it. I mean, if there is any humor in here, that's kind of the humorous side of it.
Because they look at this stuff, and they're not at all, obviously. This is sort of just cranking them out. So
put a stamp on it, mail it, and hope something happens. So,
exactly. So this has all of a sudden become a big issue. I mean, we obviously just do all the other stuff that leagues do, and obviously bring a big group out. We got 85 people here from Illinois, so we got a big contingency here, and we'll be doing our hike on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that.
And wear comfortable shoes, like we said.
I will, yeah, absolutely. Do a lot of walking that day.
Indeed, Tom, well, thank you so much for hanging out with us and
you're
giving
welcome.
us the latest on the ADA stuff, and good luck tomorrow. Have fun tomorrow, and getting your message.